The self lives only by dying, finds its identity and its happiness only by self-forgetfulness, self-giving, self-sacrifice, and to go belong. This world's anguish is no different from the love we insist on holding back. The only way love can last a lifetime is if it's unconditional. The truth is this: love is not determined by the one being loved, but rather by the one choosing to love. A girlfriend doesn't love somebody because they're worthy. A topic makes them worthy by the strength and power of its love. Somebody because they're beautiful. A girlfriend loves in such a way that it makes them beautiful. Agape means recognition of the fact that all life is interrelated. All humanity's involved in a single process. And all men are brothers. To the degree that I harm my brother, no matter what he is doing to me, to that extent I am harming you. There must be a stronger foundation than mere friendship or sexual attraction. Unconditional love, agape love, will not be swayed by time or circumstances. Agape doesn't love somebody because they're worthy. It makes them worthy by the strength and power of His love. Agape doesn't love somebody because they're beautiful. Anger is just a cowardly extension of sadness. It's a lot easier to be angry at someone than it is to tell them you're hurt. It's rare to find a consistently creative or insightful person who is also an angry person. They can't occupy the same space, and if your anger moves in, generosity and creativity often move out. It's difficult to use revenge or animals to fuel great work. If you hate a person, you hate something in him that is part of yourself. What isn't part of ourselves doesn't disturb heart. In a world filled with hate, we must still dare to hope. In a world filled with anger, we must still dare to comfort. In a world filled with despair, we must still dare to dream. And in a world filled with distrust, we must still dare to believe. He who angers you conquers you. We have a southern gentleman here. He's quite very nearly here. He goes by the name Stereo Live. Welcome to the show, Stereo Live.
Yeah. Hey, great great music. Long time listener, first time talker.
Never had one lesson over here.
Happy Thanksgiving, dude.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was watching one of your videos where you're doing that on the tom-tom. You're pretty good with your fingers, like the way that you hit the rhythms with your left hand. I can't do that with my left hand on the rhythm. I mean, I can play an instrument, but not a drum. Never been a percussion guy. Hey, and what was the thing about, like, Roger Mayhem and who else, like, got money for something and apparently gave it to you for your congressional run?
Yeah, it's just a joke. He was making up a lie, Rick.
Oh, that was so dumb. I watch all those videos, though.
The motion picture event you've been waiting for.
ScamMovie.com.
Its surface. Its surface is barren. Its true strength is hidden. Its foreboding desert conceals the power to fold space, to slow time,
more than you talk, the further away from the truth you get.
to send the mind where the body cannot go. It is the source of the ultimate power. Dune! A world beyond your experience, beyond your imagination.
Become a psychologist and become a mentor.
It is the deadly battleground where a young leader will emerge as the Illinois 16th Congressional Congressman to command an army of 6 million warriors against the tyrannical force that threatens to enslave the universe.
Excuse my language. Not to mess with the vibe of like the music. What was the deal with that dude that set the girl on fire in Chicago?
He was released 80 times from
I heard
jail.
72, but damn.
Yeah.
What is wrong with your system up there?
Man, these are the death trains, man. Trains have always been associated with death, and there are people that kill on these trains. It's insane.
What the front door is going on? See, that's why I don't go to. I'm glad you told me not to come up there that one like 2 summers ago. I did want to take a lady out for a run, though.
There'll be other opportunities. Because in Chicago in the wintertime, you can rent a hot tub boat.
What the hell? It's a boat with a hot tub on it, and you can just take cruises like butt naked in a hot tub?
Yeah.
I am so fucking down. Dude, my dad always told me it's not how you look when your clothes on, it's how you look when your clothes off. And motherfucker, I look good with my clothes off. And I'm not saying that in a like homo applause way. I'm saying I ain't got no problems being me when they hot women get in that hot tub with me. I'll get the boat buddy at that point. Pretty good at the tempo. I dig it. I miss your space travel a little bit though.
It's going to make a comeback. The winner is here.
Yeah, but like doing what you're doing right now is training you for that space drum to be able to do the same thing. Like you can open up doorways.
Yeah, the space. I learned the space drum is the reason why I can play this thing.
Well, they're all practice. It's all put down. You need to throw like a little triplet in there. You gotta throw a triplet in there. You're only playing 2 times 2. Unless you're playing 2 times 2, you're not throwing in triplets, bro. Nah, you're pretty damn good for never having a lesson. Seriously, I think you deserve a beer with an orange in it.
I got this kalimba, but I was trying to put it in tune and I took it out of tune.
Well, you know what slack key is? Like Hawaiian slack key?
No.
Alright, so when like America showed up before Hawaii became our 50th state, like we brought them guitars, but we didn't teach them how to tune them. So they started tuning the guitars in like their own version of chords, and they call it slack key. So it's out of tune, but like Hawaiian music is actually a slack key guitar, where it's completely out of tune, but they know how to play the notes they want. So even if something's out of tune, you can still make it do what you want to do if you're feeling the instrument. So the only reason I'm bringing up slack key guitar because if what you've got is out of tune, figure out how to make it work with what you've got, is what I'm saying. And that's what the Hawaiians did.
So the Ebonics, the music of chords?
Well, I mean, 956, 356, like the God frequencies. And it's actually that top note that you're hitting is actually close to the God frequency, believe it or not. Dude, I used to be a nerd when it came to music. I'm just not anymore since my mom passed. Like, I gave it all up. I gave all my equipment away. The only thing I kept was my guitar. And I play that at church every once in a while. Yeah, you're good for never having had one lesson, honestly.
Well, I used to play in a band with the same guy who was in a band with the incredible Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea.
Terry, yeah. Terry was a good front man, honestly.
Yeah, he's a wrestling legend.
Dude, I was like, in 85, I was like 10 years old. I think that was WrestleMania like 3 or something like that. And I remember watching midgets wrestle. And it was the funniest shit in the world to me. Like, I'm like, look at these little fuckers running around. I could beat them up. Because I was 10 and I was like, I'm bigger than they are. Man, what a great industry. So, you never did really actually tell me how did it go with, like, you said there was the court case about the signatures.
Yeah, that's the case hearing is December 3rd.
Oh, fuck. I forgot. You did tell me.
Yeah, it's in the future.
Well, I didn't write it down on my whiteboard, so I don't. White is right, yeah. My whiteboard. It'd be racist if I had a blackboard. But no, your Chicagoans are waking the fuck up from their woke culture. I've been watching, like, your city hall, and they are slamming your mayor. Like, they are literally slamming the fuck out of him.
Well, that's what happens to dumb hoes. They get slammed. And like the pimp said to his hoes, keep them coming.
I've never heard that, but that's funny.
I think that's from the movie Taxi Driver. Harvey Keitel is like, well, like the pimp said to his hoes, keep them coming, or something like that. I can't remember what movie that's from.
Oh, the one with De Niro?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Taxi Driver.
I don't know if that's from that movie. I can't remember where it's from, but I heard it. I was like, oh my god, that's kind of funny.
No, dude, I wish you the best against, you know, the incumbent dickbag. And I really did enjoy the way that you did with your meta glasses and your phone and the debate that you had with the person on your left and your right, and y'all were passing the microphone, and I didn't understand you know, when the people would hold up the hand sign or the stop sign with the little, like, you know, things that you'd fan your face with.
Yeah, there was a moderator. He was timing it.
So if you saw the yellow hand, it means like you're down to your last minute or something?
Yeah, it had time on there.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty cool way of moderating it. It would be fucking, like, that would have been amazing if Clown House was like that, you know?
There's some rooms like that. There are.
Yeah. But I mean,
some of the Talking Apes rooms, depending on which apes are in there, you can get that.
Yeah.
I've been known to be the timekeeper.
Yeah. What would be cool is if they could set up if there was a room functionality for timekeeper, you know, like where it would do a start and stop bell, where basically it would do a time delay.
Bing you in and you out.
Bing bing bing, bong bong. Bing bing.
Would be 30 seconds.
Bong bong.
Well, I mean, if it's 252, it'd be 30 seconds on the 2, and then the bong would be at 1 minute. But you bing in and out. But bing bing is just letting you know as a notice that you're coming to the end of what you need to, like, round up what you're saying.
Bing bing, bong bong.
That would be a cool update for you. You might want to, you know, tell Clubhouse about that.
Oh, what did you do the rest of the night?
Well, I was eating leftovers, and I went to sleep at like 2 o'clock. I woke up at like almost 6. Like 4 hours of a nap. So now I'm kind of really awake. You know what I mean? But no, I'll probably just, dude, my neighbors, I had 3 different neighbors that came over and brought me plates of food. Like, I still have pie. I'll have pie for the next week. I don't know, living in the South. I don't think, how many people came over and brought you a plate?
Nobody, of course. Had to go get my own, and it was terrible.
Dude, that's what I love about the South. Like, I could have walked a mile in either direction up and down the road, and I bet you every single person would ask me to come in and eat with them. And when I didn't do that, they came to me. Like, we need to get back to that kind of like culture within America, where like we know our neighbors, and forget all that racism stuff. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about actually enjoying the people that are around you. But everybody's so crazy these days. Like, everybody's just guarded. Proof in point, the girl getting set on fire. Like, why does the city have to be that way? Like, everybody's so dismissive just because you live in a big city. Is it some kind of mental defect?
I don't know. I think it's just it's like a combination of a whole bunch of things, But primarily, it's natural. But it's it can be ugly. It's
But
like
do you think if I went to Chicago and I was there for a year that I'm going to be anything other than who I am now?
no, you would be the same person you'd be in a year.
But why do people that are born in that environment like end up behaving like the irrational style of culture?
I don't know. It's just it's an index, and there's a certain percentage of the index that uh, becomes psychotic. Violently psychotic.
I was in a room the other day. We had a whole room about like psychopathy versus sociopathy.
Mhm.
And dude, even after listening to all that, and then like I minored in psychology, so I mean I took general, behavioral, and abnormal psychology, and I was thinking about going down that route, but I was like, man, that's so boring. But like, I still didn't have any answers. Like, this is such a social experiment that we're living through. I think that was the only realization I had is like, what we're going through is just a social experiment with all these, pathies, these disease processes of the mind, whether it's through the mind individually or whether it's through the social side. And like sociology to me is just like the psychology of people in groups. And I did take psychology. I did like it. It was interesting. I just don't think that there's any definitive answers in it because there's no real science behind it. It's all subjective. And please don't start presupposing shit on me. I hate that.
See, all communication is subjective, and what we humans do through communication is project subjective constantly. But the real world is totally objective, and it's only by our communication do we create these subjective paradoxes. And once you go silent, you know. I don't know. This is why I'm liking music a lot because you realize that a lot of musicians got past the point of subjective discourse and just let music take over. And that's like, I read in this book one time it said like the future of communication will all just be music. And
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
right? That's right.
Wild Stallion.
George Carlin.
Oh, dude, I saw him 3 times live before he passed. Rest in peace, George. I liked him you ever looked at him when he was the hippie dippy weatherman?
Oh, it's on SNL?
Yeah.
It's been so long, I don't even know if I remember that.
It was, dude, SNL was black and white back then.
Black and white?
Yeah, it wasn't a color television. When George Carlin was the hippie dippy weatherman, the original ones were when it was in black and white.
Wow.
Like, dude, that long ago. Like, I barely understand. I still had a black and white television when I was a kid, but nowadays, bro, these kids are so spoiled. They have
It's
everything.
kind of interesting how people basically use televisions in a way like a computer, for quite a long time. But it was totally one way in terms of communication. Now,
Yeah, it was dictation. It wasn't communication.
right. Well, it's still communication, because you still do the gestalt against the projection. You form your impression against the suggestion. So it's still in a way like a computer prior to the insanity of what we have going on now with all these platforms and
But I don't think that was really communication, because it was a dictation to the point that it was like programming. And like the only way you would consider a true communication is when like I took that information that was being programmed to me, like, welcome to your regularly scheduled program. They're literally programming you. And it's how you interacted with the world around you the next day, or even the next 30 minutes, whatever. Like that's how the communication got across, because it's how you can't have communication without the sending and receiving of information. But if you're sending, but you could program the society to respond in a way, you know that you're communicating to the point, because these people are behaving on a specific, outcome of what you programmed them to understand.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, and I repeat it all the time, all communication is hypnosis. So it doesn't matter because what's really happening is we're listening. And so from that perspective, the programming is still the same in a way. But the thing is, our comments mean nothing. Our replies, our likes, our retweets, they mean nothing, because the impressions generated from that are completely insignificant. So, thus, it becomes, what are you listening to and what are you looking at? But primarily, this is why the earth is spelled with an ear and not an eye, and why here is spelled with an ear and not an eye, because hearing is the magic. It's really, truly what you're listening to, which is going to flow through you, and then the output is what you're listening to. So
my question is, if YES means yes, then why does EYES lie?
Hello? Hello?
I don't know. Jazzy, I was in a room with Jazzy earlier. She said trivia, by the way. Have you been in any rooms that I've been in today? There's been a few anonymous people that have been recording rooms.
No.
I was just asking. You know me, I don't ever care. I'm scam movie all day.
No, I've been listening to my AI music all day. And I've been prank calling shows.
Why are you into that house version of AI? Is that your style? You're into that techno stuff?
No, today I did all orchestra with male-female vocals, with opera, violins and drums, and choir. It's just, I don't know. I'm trying to find which one do I really like.
I feel bad that I missed that one, because me, I would have listened to that.
Oh, you want to listen to something, you say?
Well, I mean, if you got the orchestral, I played violin, I played cello, and I played bass. Like, anything with string instruments, I typically, if it's done well, I appreciate the fuck out of.
Mm-hmm. So I took quotes from Seneca. There's this big quotes website, and I was just feeding it quotes. It came out pretty good. Oh, I did Agape Love. You want to hear how Agape came out?
Godly love, yes. Do I want to hear what an agape is? Yes.
Record of man's inhumanity to man on this special day of love. Remember that your Father loves you more than you could ever imagine. No matter what you've done or haven't done. concern for the well-being of another without any
You
desire
don't even
to.
know what key you're trying to tell these songs to play in, do you?
No, I'm not saying key.
Anger is just a cowardly extension of sadness. It's a lot easier to be angry at someone than it is to tell them you're hurt. It's rare to find a consistently creative or insightful person who is also an angry
These are just
person.
quotes.
They can't occupy the same space, and if your anger moves in, generosity and creativity often move out. It's difficult to use revenge.
You know what would be a really good one?
Or an
Like, you know, the story of like Eleanor Troy
Yeah.
and Paris,
Mm-hmm.
like the man that stole her from Agamemnon. Like, make it a love song between Paris and Helen, and how much of a pimp he must have been to be able to steal her from Agamemnon. Sorry, I'll get you to do a song about Epic of Gilgamesh too. You know me, I'm a fan of history. Like Enkidu and Gilgamesh hanging out at a brothel. One night, you know what one said? Hey, I'm gonna bang this girl and have a little fun. You just sit right here and drink your beer, my good friend, and I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not AI, but sometimes I feel like I am. But look up what the God frequency is. I think it's 956 megahertz. Oh, it's kilohertz. Is it megahertz or kilohertz? Well, you got the key of G and the key of C. But yeah, there's a frequency that you can play to like calm your mind. Like I have a white noise machine that does it. But Melissa, is that my sister? I hope she don't come beat me up. I'm scared of her. Well, John, you do you pimpin'. I'll check you on the flip side.
Okay, talk to you soon.
If you hate a person, you hate something in him that is part of yourself. What isn't part of ourselves doesn't disturb us. We must still dare to hope in a world filled with anger. We must still dare to comfort in a world filled with despair. We must still dare to dream, and in a world filled with distrust, we must still dare to believe. He who angers you conquers you. If we could read the secret history of our enemies, we should find in each man's life sorrow and suffering enough to disarm all hostility. To hate and to fear is to be psychologically convincing response to the invasion of your personal boundaries.
Let nothing perturb you, nothing frighten you. All things past, God does not change.
Patience achieves everything.
Mother Teresa,
Where there is anger, there is always pain underneath. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. Next time you're mad, try dancing out your anger.
sweet Kitover.
Fear is the path to the dark side. Anger leads to hate, suffering. Anger is just a cowardly extension of sadness. It's a lot easier to be angry at someone than it is to tell them you're hurt.
It's rare to find a consistently creative or insightful person who is also an angry person. They can't occupy the same space. And if your anger moves in generosity and creativity often move out, it's difficult to use revenge or animus to fuel great work.
If you hate a person, you hate something in him that is part of yourself. What isn't part of ourselves doesn't disturb us. In a world filled with hate, we must still dare to hope. In a world filled with anger, we must still dare to comfort. In a world filled with despair, we must still dare to dream. And in a world filled with distrust, we must still dare to believe. He who angers you conquers good. If we could read the secret history of our enemies, we should find in each man's life sorrow and suffering enough to disarm all hostility. To hate and to fear is to be psychologically illiterate. In fact, the consuming illness of our time. Anger is an integrity producing response to the invasion of your personal boundaries.
Let nothing perturb you, nothing frighten you. All things past, God does not change. Patience achieves everything. Mother Teresa,
Where there is anger,
there is always pain underneath. Their hearts hollow.
anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. Next time you're mad,
Try dancing out your anger. Sweet Kitover.
fear is the path to the dark side.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate.
Hate leads to suffering.
I tell everybody, don't go to college, go to tap, go to any trade. That's the better solution right now. It's a field that is desperate for people. You know, all you have to do to stand out
Bitterness is like cancer, it eats apart the host. But anger is like fire, it burns it all clean. The best fighter is never angry. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in our hearts we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free.
You know, like guys that I know, I mean, they're making really good money, and it's not that it's work, right? Like they have to bust their ass, they have to know what they're doing. But I think that was one of the fields where my friend was like, he was like, you don't have to keep calling me for any of this stuff. So this was a few years back, and he just showed me what he was doing, and I'm telling you right now, some of this stuff, it's so technical in many ways, and there are some risks when you're
with non-violence.
when you really start to learn about
Anger is the wind which blows out the lamp of the moth. Gentleness overcome anger with generosity, overcome meanness with truth.
because of those sort of mechanical skills and the ability to understand. Like I talk to kids that are 22 years old, they don't know what a 9mm is. Like when I tell them like get this 9mm with the ratchet, they don't.
Listen, it's only going to get worse, okay? Because here's the reality of it: is that yes, we needed, like, all of these tech fields, all of these trade fields need people. Okay, you need these jobs to be filled, and they're important jobs, and they're also not as simple as you might think. They used to be a lot simpler. 30 years ago, an automotive, technical job was like, if you had some mechanical talent, it was probably pretty easy. That's not the case anymore. Okay, I mean, I'm an automotive, electrical diagnostic guy. That's what I do, and most of my day is spent with an oscilloscope in my hand. Okay, that's what I do. So, it's the idea that these are simple jobs now. That's just not true. I mean, they're much more complicated than they used to be, and they're a lot more technical than they used to be. And these jobs are starting to get paid a whole lot more because there's no one doing them. There's just no one doing it. There's no one doing any of this stuff, and that's the problem.
And Walter,
you need a lot more people in these fields, because the other side of it is we also have a wave of AI coming. And guys, the first jobs that are going to be wiped out by the AI are not going to be your labor workers, okay? That's not going to be the people that are going to be wiped out. It's going to be mid-level managed administrators. And we were smart enough in this country to shift away from doing trade-style jobs and tell everybody, an entire generation of kids, that they had to go to college because that's the only way they'll ever do anything. They had to go to college. And now we're going to wipe out all the administrative jobs, and all those tech jobs are going to make way more money. They're going to make way, way, way more money because all those administrator jobs are going to get wiped out by AI. And the ones that aren't going to be wiped out are the people that are fixing your car. You got changing your oil. You got changing your door. I mean, all that stuff, that's not going anywhere. There ain't no robots coming to fix your door jam when something falls off of it or when something breaks, okay? You're still going to have to call a guy. And there's no, if anybody believes that the robots are just going to suddenly manage to be able to do advanced diagnostic on automotive vehicles, you're ridiculous. Okay, that's not even anywhere remotely close to happening, okay, guys? Not even close. And we're probably 15 to 20 years from that ever happening. Okay, Miss Lou, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Hey, well, good evening, everybody. And to your point, all those robots are going to need technicians to handle them. So there you go, back into a whole new tech field being developed through AI. These people are going to have to learn. It's not going to be just coding. It's going to be, how to maintain these robots, parts, all this stuff. It's going to be back to sort of a trade. So
that's what happened for all of these advanced fields. I mean, the idea that robots are going to take over and everything, guys, someone's got to fix the robots. Okay, what are you going to say? The robots are going to fix the robots? And then who's going to fix the robots that fix the robots? Somebody has to fix something at the end of it, okay? At the end of the day, the humans or someone's going to be fixing something, okay? That's the way I look at it. It's like your car is always going to break, okay? It's always going to have problems. Never going to be one of these things. They tried to move us, and this is one of the things they did with the electric vehicles. A lot of people don't know about this problem. Electric vehicles is actually going to cause a major issue in about 15 years because all of those vehicles that have electric batteries in them are dead vehicles after 15 years because they're useless. Okay, they're useless. And that means you've taken about 2 or 3% out of the entire supply of used vehicles, which means used vehicles is going to go up dramatically. Yeah, that's another problem that no one talks about. Is that you take out cars out of the market because they're useless. I mean, you can't go drive a 1990 Dodge Neon. You can go pick one of those up for cheap as hell and drive it because it's got a heater in it. But there ain't no such thing as a 20-year-old Tesla, baby. That thing is toast. That thing is useless after its batteries have been spent out. So that's a completely dead vehicle, removed from the market. And, people can drive old. There's 1970 pickup trucks that are still driving around just fine today. Okay, John Kitover, what's up, man?
Hey, this is John Kitover. I'm running for Congress in the 16th District of Illinois. I've been using Suno, the music app, and adding in my favorite wisdom and poetry quotations and poetry. And it is just unbelievable. And I did this $10 a month subscription. You can do about 250 or 500 songs. It is so incredible, and it makes all the whole library and record you've ever heard of every pop artist, everything. You're like, it's so stupid. The future of music and the future of movies is really user generated. So I'm just saying that in terms of our economy, in the information age, the information technology age, many young people don't know how to use their brain, and unfortunately, they're completely hypnotized. And they're not creating anything, and they're just drones going on 80-mile, doom scrolls. And so, with young people today, either they have to be instructed on how to use AI and intelligence to improve their intelligence, which is going to raise their emotional intelligence, because a lot of these young people have absolutely no understanding of philosophy, psychology. They're just road ragers. And they're very depressed, and they've been vaccinated, they've been lied to, they've been, abused by their government, and now we're 38 trillion in debt. So if we don't grow out of this situation psychologically, we may never overcome the actual fiscal, material crises, et cetera. So I'm just saying that the future of AI really will be for personal development, self-development, and hopefully leaders can help educate young people on how to overcome their own ignorance, stupidity, brainwashing, and free them from the mind viruses that have been created over the past couple of years.
Well, AI specifically, I tell everybody that you better learn how to use it, because no matter what field you're in, if you don't know how to use AI, someone else that is in your field will learn how to use it, and they'll figure out how to do your job better, faster, and more efficiently than you possibly ever could. That's just the reality of it. You don't have a choice. I mean, the AI, once they let the genie out of the bottle with these big, large language models, if you don't figure out how to use it, guys, somebody else will, and somebody else will do whatever it is that you do. They'll be able to do it faster than you. They'll be able to do it better than you. They'll be able to do it way quicker, and they'll be able to learn things about it that you don't even know, because that's just how it is. Now, there's very limited fields that it doesn't work like that. Like hands-on tasks fields. Again, the trades. That's what we were talking about before. The trades. No one's going to teach you how to, bend your wrist to the right direction so you can get the ratchet on the back of something. Okay, then no one's going to be able to teach. There's no AI that'll ever show you how to do that. Okay, but if you're trying to learn how to write, you're trying to learn how to read more efficiently, you're trying to learn new and interesting information, almost anything can be taught to you through these AI programs. And if you don't want to use them, that's your fault, because somebody else is going to, and you don't have a choice. Someone else is going to use it, and they're going to be better at you than your job within 10 minutes if they use AI on a regular basis, because that's just how these things are. So it's an absolutely necessary thing for people to learn how to use these systems. I tell everybody, go use AI, use it on a regular basis, because it's here to stay. It ain't going anywhere. And you better figure out how to use it, because other people will. Miss Lou, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Another thing, Walter, you brought about, because I wanted to do an HBO documentary called Just Show Up. I think it's really important that a work ethic be reestablished in this country, because people have gotten, especially those who've had assistants and who now are going to be required to go out and work if they're able to, which is the right thing. That they have a work ethic and try and find something that you're interested in. To your point, the trades, whatever. Try and find something that you like to do, that you can do, and commit yourself to it. People who work hard, who show that they want to work, are the people who are going to succeed.
Well, that's 100% true. I mean, there's a whole wave of people that, it's mainly the younger generation, people in my generation, that they don't want to do anything. I mean, they want to show up and they want to work a 9 to 5 every single day, and they want to get off work and then they want to go, to the bar, or they want to go, go hang out with their friends, or go kayaking, or do all this nonsense, like whatever things that they think are super important to their, well-being or something. It's just nonsense. What you should be doing, especially when you're under the age of 30, under the age of 40, really, is working as much as you possibly can every second that you possibly can. Men specifically, I don't know about women on this scenario, but men specifically, if you are not working every minute that you have when you're young, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it because later in your life, you won't be able to do this kind of work. Okay? I mean, I work 19 and a half hours every single day. Okay? I get up at 6 in the morning. And I get off here, I finish this show at usually 11:30, then I stay up till about 1 in the morning finishing editing, setup, and setting up for the next day. Every single day. Every single day, I do the exact same thing every single day. This is how you work. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should work. Work as much as you possibly can. Why not? Give yourself a reason why you shouldn't work as hard as you possibly can. There's no reason to it. You want to try and act like you need, I'm only going to work a 9 to 5. Well, cool. You can work a 9 to 5, but if you work a 9 to 5, you're never going to be anything more than whatever you are currently. That's how it is. Okay, John, you have your hand up again. Go ahead.
I don't think I had my hand up, but I mean, I would just push back a little bit from compulsive work. If you can think harder, not work harder, and supposedly AI will do that, well, then you'll have to essentially learn the fine art of meditation and relaxation, as opposed to being chronically driven for success. If you already have success, in particular, if you have a standard of living which you're satisfied with, because philosophically, if you have enough, I mean, you're a happy person.
I disagree completely. You should work harder.
Well,
everybody should work harder all the time. That's how that should be.
I'm just saying that in the age of abundance, which we technically are at probably the greatest abundance in human history comparatively, everything's already been built. I mean, all the houses we're living in have been built in the 20s through the 60s for the most part. The problem with America today is property taxes, teachers' unions, pensions, and these never-ending taxation schemes, whether it's the tollways or your home. I'm just saying, I can see the no's in the stage or in the audience saying, no, we need to keep our teachers' unions and our pensions high and our never-ending Medicare, Medicaid.
Let me tell you right now, John, I highly doubt my audience is saying that. I'll tell you now, most of these people in my audience are not interested in teachers' unions, and they don't like them very much. This is a very conservative show. So, but to your point of what you're talking about before about compulsive work, I didn't say compulsive work, I said work. The people that only work from a 9 to 5 every single day, you are never going to be anything more than you are currently. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it if you like whatever you're doing. But if you want to get ahead in life, the only way to get ahead in life is to work harder. That is the only way. And that means work longer hours, work every minute that your business allows you to, do extra work without somebody telling you to do it, come up with solutions without someone pushing you to do it, come up with different things. And if you don't have that option, if whatever you're doing, if you don't have something that you can do when you get off work, if it only works from 9 to 5 and then that's it, then start something else on your own. Start something entirely different. Just a couple of years ago, I wasn't doing all this. Just a couple of years ago, I had nothing, and I built this entire platform. I built my entire following. I built everything up on my own with no one helping me. This is if you do when you want to do it, you live in a world now where you can go on frickin' TikTok, start a channel on TikTok, learn how to use it, and then within a year or two, you'd be making significant money from it. Okay, you live in a whole new world. You can sell crap on TikTok that you don't even care about and make thousands of dollars a month. There are numbers of ways that you can learn how to make more money. And if you are struggling and you're having problems and you can't figure out how to make more money, then go out, start something on your own, and figure out how to make more money. There is ways to do it, and that's what your point about the AI stuff. AI will teach you how to do all that stuff. You want to learn how to make good content? Have AI teach you how to make good content. You want to learn how to be a video editor? AI can teach you how to be a video editor. If you want to learn how to write things, AI can teach you how to write things. Do it. I mean, there's no reason. You live in a world now where it costs you $20 a month to have access to the world's history of information, and you can ask it anything and ask it to teach you anything, and it'll do it right there, right in front of you, right in whatever, and any way you want it, any speed you want. I mean, that's the greatest thing. An AI teacher is like the most advanced tutor that's ever existed. You can be as retarded or brilliant in any way, and it is still going to be able to help you in no matter what situation you're in. So there's no excuse, really. You'll figure out how to do something. If you don't have a job that allows you to work extra, then start something else. I mean, that's the other way to do it.
Yeah, you mentioned something earlier about those batteries. Somebody out there needs to figure out how to recycle some of these batteries. There is so much valuable stuff in there. If you can safely do it and charge a disposal fee and get some money for the stuff that's inside of them when these cars all die out in 15 years, I mean, you literally have a good startup. Probably be $100-200 million industry in the beginning, and then it's probably going to turn into $1 billion industry with the amount of electric cars that are out there being sold right now. They have that same issue, and even if it's not the whole car, you're going to get batteries, right? Like we've always had issues with batteries, even though now there's a few companies that are recycling alkaline batteries, which used to just go into landfills. So I keep telling people they think that the process for our landfills isn't scientific. It's very scientific, and the way that they've created them is so that they can be mined in the future. It's like it's in all, you know what I mean? It's very interesting, like what's coming. Well, and I probably won't be here then, but
the next level of innovation for all this stuff, you never know where it's going to go. Someone will come up with something that they can use that stuff for. It'll happen at some point. Okay, Tail Spirit, you came up here. What's up? Going once. Going twice.
Yeah, just really exciting for all of you and hearing from all of you about the test and all those. But
all right, then. We can't understand a single word you're saying there, bud, so guess not. Sound like a mostly drunk Scotsman. So that's what you sound like. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I can't understand you. So if you can't speak normally, then we'll just have to talk to you later. Thanks, Tail Spirit.
Okay, send us a DM.
Bye-bye. You gotta love it. Welcome to the internet, everybody.
Why was the bye-bye so clear, though, Walter? Why was the bye-bye was clear?
I have no idea. We couldn't understand a single word he said, though. So, if you're Scottish and you come up here and you're hammered drunk, I'm sorry. I can't understand you, then you got to leave the stage. Okay, guys, if you'd like to join the show, you're welcome to do so. You got to go to x.com, go to @WCDispatch, and you can join the show and call in. There was another topic I was going to bring up tonight, but I don't know if Matt Tardy is going to be joining me or not. I sent him something earlier, but we'll see if he actually shows up or not. We were going to talk about some of the Venezuelan, some of the military actions that I think is going on down there, because there's a bunch of interesting stuff happening down off the coast of Venezuela, and I think that there's a lot more going on, and I did some numbers talking about it, looking into why exactly we'd be there. Do you guys know that apparently 5 to 8% of all of China's oil supply comes from Venezuela? You guys know that? I didn't know that. That's some interesting stuff that I figured out earlier today. So that's you wonder why we have the whole fleet down there. I keep telling people it's not because of the freaking drug boats. Maybe that's part of it, but that ain't all of it, baby. There's something else going on. So I've been trying to think about this for a minute, and I started doing some real research into it. So yeah, 95% of Venezuela's oil export goes to China. They make up about 5 to 8% of their entire oil import. So that's a pretty significant number. Wipe that out, then suddenly China goes from being able to get cheap, discounted Venezuelan oil to having to get a lot more. Go ahead, Miss Lou.
I think you're spot on with that, Walter. I think the whole thing down there is relationship to the CCP. The question is, are we trying to flush them out through a regime change, or what are we doing? Because definitely Maduro was put in by a CCP entity, as was Lula in Brazil. So it's the CCP infiltration down there is pretty intense. So I'm thinking this has more to do with that really than drugs. Although that's
what my point has been the whole time. Yeah. I think it's obviously something more than just the drug stuff. Of course, if you look around today, the left today has been screaming because apparently Pete Hegseth at some point during the first hits on the strikes on the narco-terrorist boats, apparently he gave the order to kill them all, kill everybody. And they're like, oh my God, war crimes. I'm like, blow them up. Boom. What more? Put the videos out. Why aren't we getting all the videos? I mean, there's got to be more. We've only seen like 6. I went like all of them. Every video that you have of them blowing these boats up, I need more. I need more drug boats being blown up, and I need the videos of it on a regular basis. I mean, again, I'm sorry, I don't care. I mean, if you guys, I've got no qualms about blowing up more drug boats. That's not a problem for me. I actually enjoy it. I think it's a great thing. I think you should blow up more of them. And you claim it's war crimes, I don't care. Sucks. Maybe you shouldn't run drugs to our country. You're in great danger if you do so.
Can I ask you a question about the boats down there, Walter?
Go ahead.
Do you know how like the Panama Canal fits into all this? Because I thought that Trump got it sorted when he first got in office, but now I've had the impression it's not sorted down there. The whole Panama Canal.
So the issue with the Panama Canal when Trump's administration, by the way, this is why I knew something interesting was going to happen in the Southern Hemisphere, because the first thing that Marco Rubio did, like day one, was he flew down to Panama. I mean, I think Trump is in a whole different world now dealing with this problem. I mean, the first thing they did was they went to Panama. So whether or not that got resolved, I'm not sure. I think we should just take it back. I think it's ours. What are they going to do? What is the Panamanian government going to do if we take back our canal? They're going to cry? Are we worried that the Panamanian military might come after us? What are they going to do? Shut the hell up. It's ours. I mean, I think we should just be. We had space a while back in one of the shows that I was talking about. It was probably 2 weeks ago now. I said that we should just go back to actually being a real empire, not a fake one. We're a fake empire right now. I want to return to actual imperialism. I think it's much better off that way. And that means we tax all of the countries that we, provide support for instead of us sending them money. That's one of the problems we have. We instead of having like a tribute system like we used to, we send them money rather than them send us money. I think we should reverse that because I don't think it works. That would solve a lot of our problems. But, in terms of what's going on with Panama, I haven't actually watched to see if there's any current update on it. I know that the Trump administration is paying a lot of attention to it at first, and I doubt highly that they've just let that slide. So I'm not sure. I know that they made some sort of deal with them to make sure that the Chinese couldn't control. There was 2 specific ports that were on the Panama Canal that they weren't going to allow them to control. The way that they had done that also was that the company that owned them was a Hong Kong company that happened to own those 2 ports. And then the Hong Kong company, the moment that Hong Kong was taken over by the Chinese, then they immediately gained control of it and they took over those companies. So until that got fixed, I don't know if it got fixed or not. I assume that the deal, whatever Trump's deal with the Panamanian government was, that the Chinese can't control the Panama Canal anymore. So I haven't seen a current update on that, though. Let's invade Panama and find out. Anyway, go ahead, Ms. Lou.
Yeah, Walter, you just stated the whole update that I know of. But I know that I thought the plan was, correct me if I'm wrong, but the stated plan for the administration was that we were going to take it back. Am I wrong?
I mean, I hope so. I want us to take Panama. I want us to take Greenland. Hell, let's invade Mexico.
Didn't they say that we were going to do that? Wasn't that a stated mission?
Well, that was what the Trump doctrine was. The Trump road doctrine was that we were going to deal with Panama. We were going to, control our hemisphere. It was a hemispheric idea. And by the way, I think part of that was all a play, but that's a very long-winded discussion to explain that. If you guys want to read, there's an article on my Substack called it's called the Trump Feint Doctrine. I recommend you go read it if you want to understand what I think is going on in foreign policy. Now that was based on the Iran strikes, but that's a detailed long-term strategy plan. So I think, and that turned out to be 100% right, by the way. In April, I said that they were going to strike Iran and exactly how they were going to do it and why they were going to do it, and it happened, like, to the letter. So go read that. That's one of my more popular pieces on my Substack. Go check that out.
Yeah, so for the Panama thing, from my understanding, is that we got pretty much everything that we wanted. It wasn't necessarily about like physical control. It was about the access, the fees, the priorities. They were making some of our ships wait like a week sometimes or something. It was something crazy, but that was, I think, so they got some of the priority interests taken care of. I'm sure there's probably more to do, right? And there's probably more to come when it comes down to that. But Panama is that canal is very, very important. And I don't think people understand how much stuff really comes through there, how much of our goods actually come through there. Now, are they doing other things too? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the things with Trump is that if he doesn't get his way, he knows how to apply pressure so that either whatever he wanted to be done becomes, it just matters less to him because he's getting it some other way. So I think that's kind of part of that strategy. But as far as I understood it, we got pretty much everything that we wanted out of it. And I'm sure there's still more to come.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I don't doubt that we're not going to be done focusing on that. I think the Southern Hemisphere of the Americas is going to be a lot more going on down there. And I mean, if you guys saw Trump's post when he was talking about Tito Esfura, the presidential candidate for the Honduras National Party, so that's some, I think a lot of things are happening down in South America that we're going to see a lot more about this. I think this administration is not going to be focused so much on the Middle East, even though that's all everybody ever wants to talk about is the Middle East. But I think that focusing closer to home is probably going to be is the goal of the administration. They've said it from the beginning, so that's why the whole fleet's down there right now. So I think a lot of things are about to change over here. So we'll see.
What's the name of the doctrine you said you had on your Substack, please, so we can look for it?
Oh, the Trump feint doctrine.
Yeah, FEINT, right?
Yep, feint.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'd have to. My guess is I think now at this point it's probably paid subscriber only because it's pretty old at this point. But if you guys want to support this show and you want to support my work, it's only $5 a month to subscribe to the WC Dispatch, and you get all my articles and everything. And the show is also streamed live. The video version of it is streamed live on that website every night. So if you guys want to check that out, you're welcome to do so. But yeah, the Trump feint doctrine is the name of that. It's I forget what it would have been under. Probably would have been under opinion. If I had to guess, I'd have to go look. It's been a while since I've looked at it.
Hey, I got a quick Walter. Can I ask you a question?
You can go ahead.
What do you think about the deportation numbers, and then I guess the schedule, or what are the goals, and should the administration do bounty hunter licenses in all sanctuary cities?
Bounty hunter licenses, like what do you mean by bounty hunter? Like to deputize citizens, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you apply for a license, or you apply to a usajobs.gov opening, because if they really want to achieve any kind of numbers, I mean, they can't leave it to sanctuary city police forces and their Democrat mayors. So the only way to do it at scale is to basically recruit from the population. I'm just saying it's theoretically possible. I did see one article about it a couple of weeks ago. I'm just wondering, what's your opinion on how they should proceed, or are they really even going to do what they propose? I mean, is it even possible without
they're hiring
increased
from
manpower?
ICE. There's all kinds of ads that they're hiring. That ICE
listen. ICE is hiring thousands of people. So if you want to help out with the deportation efforts, then join ICE. That's one thing about it. But in terms of the numbers, everyone wants to see these gigantic, huge numbers of deportation. I keep telling people that the better thing that you should be looking at is not necessarily the forced deportation numbers. What you really should be looking at is the voluntary deportation numbers, people that are leaving, self-deporting. That's the numbers that are much more important, and that's where the higher numbers are anyway. I mean, we've already seen 2 million people self-deport this year. So I mean, that's a massive number. So you've got almost 2.4 million people that have left the country this year. That's the first time we've had net out-migration, demigration from the country ever. I don't know about ever, but in the past, my lifetime at least. I mean, that's the numbers you really want to look at, which is what I keep telling everybody. The biggest deal about the numbers is that what the Trump administration is doing is, and I call it goblin posting. And that's the best way to describe it, because what they're really doing is essentially, they tell you if you're here in this country, and you are here illegally, you at any moment might just be dropped directly into alligator Alcatraz. The alligators might get you, or you can be sent to any of the other named places that are always all horrible. It's goblin posting. What they're trying to do is make it so it is uncomfortable to be here in the first place. That's what they want. That's what they're trying to do. And that's the idea with it, because you want more self-deportation. I said this a while ago in the show. The idea with self-deportation is it's better when people self-deport, because the economy naturally adjusts to it when people start to leave on their own free will. Okay, so they just, they leave their jobs, they leave the country, the local economy has to hire someone back, and it's not just massive waves of people being dropped out of the economy immediately. And if you took out, and by the way, there's 50 million people here illegally currently. If you took out 20 of them, hell, if you took out 15 of them, I think you'd probably crash our economy. Okay, that's probably what would happen. Now, if you take out 10 million of them and you do it over the course of 4 years, and you have them all do it by self-deportation, that's a good way to do it. And so I think that's probably the better way to do it. And the idea, I think it really just make it more difficult for people to be here illegally. Make it almost impossible. I think that's the best way.
Why do you think the economy would crash? I mean, 40% of the economy is all borrowed money from the Federal Reserve. So why do you think it would crash if people who aren't supposed to be here legally, were removed forcibly?
Because if you remove 15 million people from the economy, all of the local areas that they are in then have to struggle because they don't have the same people there. There is a push and pull to this. It doesn't. It's not like it's just all fun and games. The Democrats knew what they were doing. Okay, they knew what they were doing. If you take out, say tomorrow, if you just took out 10 to 15 million people directly out of the economy tomorrow, snap your fingers, okay? What happens to all those areas? all those areas that all of the local gas stations had to pay for those. They were buying stuff at those local gas stations. They were buying food. They were buying gas at the local gas station. They were buying food at the local grocery store. You take all of those people out, all of that's gone overnight. It's not as simple as you may think. I mean, you got to think about it in a long-term strategy here. The Democrats knew what they were doing. And when you bring in shitloads of people and lead them all over the country and push them everywhere, it's not so simple to get rid of everybody all at once. You have to have that's why I say the self-deportation numbers are better.
A lot of the money they're spending are cash welfare benefits. I'm not saying that there's not a speck of dust on a place in the universe. I'm just trying to think hypothetically.
You said that there are a lot of them and there's cash welfare benefits. That's not necessarily true. Okay, illegals aren't always the ones getting these. Okay, lots of illegals are just here completely undocumented with nothing. They're just working and spending money in the local areas because they're here illegally. So it's not that simple.
Do you live in a large Democratic city? You don't live in a large Democrat city, do you?
What are you talking about?
If you live in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., I mean, anywhere there's a large Democrat city with a Democrat mayor or a Democrat governor, they give out cash benefits and they are sanctuary cities. I'm just saying, it doesn't sound to me like you've experienced or observed it personally or firsthand.
No, I'm trying to tell you that the problem. Okay, let me explain it to you in a different way since you don't seem to understand here. Okay, the town that I live in is Springfield, Ohio. Okay, the Haitian population that they dropped here, 30,000 of them. Okay. If you removed all 30,000 of them tomorrow, probably 5 or 6 businesses out of this area would go out of business because they would have 0 workers at them. Okay, you understand the problem? You can't just remove all of these people overnight. It crashes things. It causes major problems. And that's legal, by the way. Those are asylum people. Okay, so you're not even talking about the illegal people that are working in all the other jobs. Like, if you think taking a bazillion people out of the country does not have an effect on the economy, you are not paying attention. That is just reality.
Well, first of all, a bazillion is not a real number. We're talking about millions of people.
Listen to me. You want to play semantics with me, buddy? You can, but I'm telling you right now, you're still wrong. I mean, if you take out 20 million people tomorrow, you would crash the U.S. economy. It would happen. Okay, even if they're paying cash welfare benefits, they're still spending the money somewhere. They're still spending it at a local grocery store. They're still spending it somewhere. Okay, you're still having money that is being spent by somebody. Okay, you can't just drop 20 million people out of the country and think it is magically not going to change things. It would. Okay, I got somebody else here. What's up, Jay?
What's up, Walter? So instead of $1,000, I say make it $5,000. And if you don't take the $5,000, we're coming to find you. That's it. It's that simple. And this should have been done with task forces. You should have had the worst first task force, and then you should have had a task force for just people that are here illegally. That's what should have happened from day one. There should have been none of this worst first because we were simply afraid to, offend somebody or it was bad. No, it should have been, if you're here illegally, no matter how long you've been here or whether or not you've gotten a parking ticket, we're coming to find you. So now we offered $1,000. If that's not working well enough, we'll offer them $5,000. $5,000 will save a fortune in the long run. And then if you don't take the $5,000, you're fair game. We're coming for you. I don't see how anybody could argue with that when you're offering people $5,000 to leave the country and we'll pay for your flight. I don't see how you argue with it.
Well, listen, you've heard me talk about this idea before. I don't even think you need to offer that much. I think you need to offer free cruise ships, okay? Free cruises to the Caribbean, baby. Everybody gets on a boat. It's a one-way trip, okay? We don't have to even tell them that it's a one-way trip. You just put them on the boat. Shut up. Everyone just get on the boat. Okay, look, it's nice. You get free drinks the whole way there. Okay, and then it just so happens that when you get to Haiti, you don't get to come back. Listen, I think this is a much more efficient idea. You can put thousands of them. We'll bring the cruise industry back. The cruise industries will be able to buy all new boats with all that money. Okay, this would be great.
Well, it's like a Pinocchio. It's like when they send the toys to what was that called? What was the name of it? Misfit Island? Not this.
Paradise Island.
No, was that what? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, well, very briefly, can I clarify something you were trying to explain to that one guy? Because you said it, and then you kind of. The other guy started trolling you. You said the Democrats knew what they were doing, and to kind of, I think, clarify in simplest terms, there's the effort that everybody in this room is aware of trying to create dependency for everybody on the system, right, on the government. What Walt's explaining is that by putting all these there and putting some kind of dependency, all these little towns, bigger towns, big cities especially, have a dependency, right? So there's this problem where you can't just unplug them, right? So that's what he's saying. And so we can't just turn around and do it. Should we do it? Can we do it over time? Absolutely.
and 2 million people going self-deported in the first year, in this year alone, Walt, is that right? What you said, 2.14, whatever it was?
It's 2 million have left by self-deportation so far, and then another 400,000. I think it's close to 400,000 in forced deportation. So the numbers are pretty good.
No,
they're good numbers.
Tremendous. I mean, that's tremendous. That's like it's a huge percentage.
It's more than people ever want to admit to. Okay, so like this is what I keep talking about. The self-deportation numbers. That's what you want more of. Okay, if you get this, and that's why making it more difficult. That's how you do it. Okay, so we take away all of the benefits that even exist anywhere for anybody that is not a U.S. citizen. No benefits. Okay, sorry. I don't care if you're here legally as immigrant, you don't get any benefits unless you're a U.S. citizen. That's how it should work. Even if you're a permanent resident, I don't care. You don't get anything.
No, and 100%. If we could identify this, which I'm sure they have done, if we've correctly identified the top 3 to 5 incentives, one of them is remittance payments back home because they can help their families, and whatever else those other things are, like free services, free healthcare, whatever. And then Jay, to your point about the 5,000, they're already going at record numbers for 1,000, correct, Walt? Isn't that the number that we're giving them?
Yeah, there's tons of them leaving. Okay, so and by the way, this is numbers that are given to me by. That is numbers of foreign-born people that have left the workforce that are not legal visas. So there's new data on that. I'm sure by the end of the year, I'm hoping I actually see a DHS number on how many people have accepted that payment. The payment for self-deportation.
The 1,000, plus the flight or something like that. Isn't it like a total? I don't know. It's not like a Bob Barker total package, but I think there's multiple different things you get plus the $1,000.
Right. I mean, which is why I keep saying.
You also get this incentive that if you self-deport, that you can actually come back to the United States legally. You can be on some kind of list.
Yes. See, listen, now that's the best part about it. Okay, that's the wink and nod. Yeah, you can come back. Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you'll be first in line. You just sign up. Yeah, just get out. I mean, like, listen, I don't care if they come back or not. I mean, like, it doesn't matter to me. Okay, like I hope we tell them whatever they want. They get sunshine, rainbows. You'll be able to come right back. You'll be able to apply. You'll be able to get right there. And I hope they don't do anything. Okay, I mean, just get them out. I don't care what it takes. This is why I keep saying the cruise ship is a brilliant idea. No one's listening to me on it. I hope the administration starts paying attention. I'm telling you, Carnival drinks all the way down there. I think this works, dude. I'm telling you.
Bro, I don't know. Those Carnival cruise ships have some tough outcomes. You've seen the videos online. Do you think these will go any better? I don't know.
No, listen, but they're a one-way trip, okay? Who cares? I mean, look, you put them on the ship, you give them free drinks for a whole week, and then when they get to Haiti, then suddenly they got to get off. Get the hell off the boat. I mean, that's it. I mean, you don't get to come back on. Or maybe you just don't even tell them that. You just do it. You're like, we're on an island excursion. Have the Caribbean cruises. They have an island excursion, except the island excursion is everybody leaves the boat, and then the boat just leaves. That's the better way to do it. So who cares? Just leave them on whatever island you left them on. It doesn't matter to me. And I think that's a much better idea.
That's awesome, dude. That's so funny.
Well, listen, it'd be cheaper. Okay, like how much is an all-inclusive cruise? An all-inclusive cruise is like $600. Okay, like you can get a really like Disney-esque style Carnival cruise ride for $600 for a week. Okay, so how many of those could you get on with like the illegal immigrants? I'm telling you. This is the only way you do it, man. You just start dropping those pamphlets all over the place. Free cruise rides. Come on, baby, let's go. Jack Drummond
came
up
with the love boat. It's the love boat.
I don't know, but I'm from Cleveland, and about 25 years ago, maybe longer, maybe it was in the 80s, they decided that was they didn't have enough manpower and the police to round up all the people that were violating their probation for various reasons or had bench warrants out and stuff. So
okay, so hold on a minute here. Go ahead, Jack Tron. What's up, buddy? Oh, sorry, I accidentally just muted people. Go ahead, Jack Tron.
Well, two things. One, there's the stupid chart Amy Klobuchar put out about the inflation, and then two, about 56 minutes ago, the official account just gave an update. I posted the update at the top.
What is the official update?
It said over the last 3 days, agencies terminated and descoped 15 wasteful contracts with a ceiling value of $289 million and savings of $140 million, including a State Department education training contract for Global Peace Operations Initiative capacity building assistance in Togo, an 80,000 HHS consulting contract for executive coaching, and a 2.7 HUD consulting administrative management contract for multifamily assessment contractors for green, resilient, and retrofit program. And my post has some screenshots.
I love these contracts because every time you hear these things, it's like none of them, like, no one has any idea what any of those things are, and none of them are useful. Like, none of them are important at all. No one's going to miss any of that shit. No one's going to care. I mean, I love it. Like, I mean, my favorite was when Trump read you remember his joint address to Congress, and he just did like 10 minutes of reading them. Saying, and there's $10 billion to circumcisions in Mozambique. Like, what the hell? Like,
what was that one country? Lesotho, whatever the hell it was.
Lesotho. No one knows where the hell that is. You know, the funny thing is, I actually do know where Lesotho is, because my college that I attended, they actually had a program where you could go to Lesotho for a week, and one of the professors was like all about Lesotho. He was like, his entire life it revolved around helping the people of Lesotho, the little tiny shithole country of Lesotho. It was such a stupid, like, I thought I was dying laughing because I could just see that professor, and he was like this super woke little weasel of a guy, and I think his name was Rosenberg. But I guarantee you that the moment he said that, he probably like broke his chair. Like, he was, oh my God, Lesotho is the greatest country in the world. Like, it's a shithole. Okay,
it's a tiny country in Africa.
Yes, I know it is. It's a very, very tiny country in Africa.
Rosenberg probably works at USAID, or used to.
Probably. I mean, he might. Maybe that's where his grant came from. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, Heather, you got your hand up. What's up?
Hey, Walter. Happy Thanksgiving and congrats on that beautiful little boy of yours. He's gorgeous.
Little girl.
A little girl. I'm sorry. I get everybody confused. There's been so many lately. But yes, absolutely congratulations. And I'm sure you had an amazing Thanksgiving with your little ones. They're so precious. So about the Venezuela thing, I did post some things in the Purple Pill. Emerald Robinson, who I guess is an independent reporter. And I don't have time to go into all this because I have a 30-foot inflatable snowman that's about to go get blown down the street. But anyway, you really want to, I DM'd this to you the other day, and Benny Johnson did a follow-up on it. But it has to do with Venezuela, 3 whistleblowers from the 2020 and 2024 elections. Why we have Venezuela surrounded is because of Maduro. He ordered the election in 2020 to be stolen. All the reports are there. All the names are there. They did a video conference with Trump and Elon. And the day of 2024 election, to make a long story short, Trump didn't even know if he was going to win. These 3 guys went to Oslo, Switzerland, and somewhere else. And they ended up trying to cut off the Dominion servers that are in Syria, and they didn't know if they were going to be successful or not, but they gave it their best shot. They were able to shut them down.
So I've heard
it's crazy.
I've heard this before, and I'll tell you, it's a bit too much for me to believe. Like, I'm not sure I buy it all. Like, I'm not sure this isn't even remotely true. It might be, maybe. But I'm telling you, like, I'm sorry, guys. This to me is a bit too, like, out there in the wilderness. My thing is, I think the reason we're in Venezuela is because it's 8% of China's oil supply. That's why I think
that could be.
So
that could be. But it's just really crazy that all this came out, and Benny's now looking into it. But he confirmed it. If you watch that video I put in there, he did confirm it with people in Venezuela. He confirmed all of this.
Okay.
So I was just like,
I'll check it out. But again, I like the idea that the Venezuelans somehow stole our election in 2020. I think that the Democrats stole our election in 2020 by shipping out bazillions of mail-in ballots. I think that's the reason that the Democrats stole it, because no one believes that Joe Biden got 89 bazillion votes. Okay, like, no one buys it. In fact,
I agree with you.
The Democrats don't even buy it, okay? Like, according to the Democrats, Obama was the previous president, okay? Like, Biden doesn't even exist. The dude's dead. I mean, he was always dead before, but now he's, like, really dead. He's just the dash between 45 and 47. That's all the guy really is at the end of the day. I mean, he's not really important. No one even talks about it. Like, you go look at what happened in the previous elections, okay? Just in the ones just here in November, early November, right? What happened with that? Did anybody go scrambling out for a Biden endorsement? No. No one even talked about it. Like, what do you think about Biden in this election? No one cares. And they go, get Obama in here. No one cares about Biden. I mean, the guy, no one believes it. Okay, no one believes it. But again, I don't know if it's anything to do with Venezuela or any of that stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I buy all that.
It was just crazy. I posted it for you, and yes, I mean, I went through everything that she put down, and she's got a lot of stuff, and Benny confirmed it, and I was just like, holy Hannah, this really is true.
Listen, guys, please don't interrupt each other.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
You're fine. It's just, to me, it's not that I don't, like, it might be possible, but again, guys, usually to me, it's whatever the simplest answer is usually the answer. And why on earth would we be in Venezuela? Right now, what are we doing in there? What are we going around there? By the way, Dominion Voting Machines is now owned by somebody else. They're changing it to be called Liberty Machines or something like that. So people also forget about that. So, whether or not Venezuela had anything to do with the 2020 election, I have no idea. But I do know that Venezuela is 95% of their oil exports goes directly to China, and we're in the middle of a trade war with China. So if you reduce their oil supply by 8%, they have to buy 880,000 barrels of crude a day for $20 more expensive. That's a pretty significant hit on their economy. So that's the way I look at it.
I agree.
I have no idea. Okay.
I agree.
I've got a couple requests here from people coming up here. Let's see here. Jenny and Jasmine. Go ahead, Jacktron.
Do I, man? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I may have just.
It's been breaking constantly for me. So if you
I do have one other topic, but it's not really politics related. Just a post from Jack Posobiec that I just thought blew my mind. But it's not really.
I think I probably know which one it is, but that's okay. We've got another hand up here. So what's up, Jenny?
Hey, I just wanted to add the Hezbollah aspect of Venezuela.
That's another aspect of it. Listen, there's Hezbollah in the Hamas aspect of it. There's a Nexus paper that was actually put out in 2020 talking about the Maduro-Hezbollah connection. That's actually pretty interesting. I forget who. I think that's Atlantic Council that published that one. I recommend go reading it. Yes, that is true, though. For those who aren't aware, there is a significant amount of terrorist organizations that were operating in Venezuela because they're all transnational gangs, essentially. I mean, that's what they're really doing.
And getting Venezuelan passports and coming here with Venezuelan passports, getting, refugee status. So that's a huge part, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it. I've got a friend of mine, Jeff Rainforth, he's an on-the-ground reporter down at the border. He essentially lived on the border during the Biden years. And he sent me all sorts of photos showing, Iranian passports, Venezuelan passports, all this stuff, and they were just ditched as soon as they got over the border. So, yeah, I mean, I don't doubt any of this stuff, which is another reason we need to get these deportations under control, because there's people here that we do not want here. And then someone a minute ago was talking about whether or not we wanted, the worst of the worst when we first started. You have to remember, when we first started, we didn't have the ICE funding. So people don't realize how much funding has actually been sucked out of our interior enforcement for the past 30 years or so. Clinton actually was the one that started this. Clinton started gutting interior enforcement a lot, and then it just continued underneath underneath Obama. George W. didn't really reverse that trend at all. He just kind of left it stagnant, but Obama definitely continued to plunge it even further. And then, of course, Biden was the opposite. Biden was paying people to get them over here as fast as possible. So, the funding that we have now for ICE is equivalent to something like 120 countries around the world or something like that. That's what our budget is for ICE now. So we've got the money in ICE now. So if you want to go help out with the deportation efforts, I recommend you go signing up for ICE. Okay, I brought somebody else up here just a second ago. Who was that? Jasmine. What's up, Jasmine? Or you can go ahead, Jay, if you got something to say.
No, I was just going to say Jasmine.
Yeah, what's up, Jasmine? Going once. Going twice. Okay, no Jasmine. All right, we got Robert Hartsfield up here. What's up, Robert? Going once. No Robert. Okay. Anyway, guys, you guys should join. Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Hello.
Hey, Robert, what's up?
Just wanting to say, from Arkansas, back in 97, I moved to Northwest Arkansas, where Tyson and Butterball, plus honeysuckle white turkeys were. And
Robert, I don't mean to catch off here, buddy, but what are you talking about?
About the people that they had in our plants up there. I was plant maintenance. how they look what.
Okay, Robert, I'm sorry, buddy. No one has any idea what you're talking about because it seems completely unrelated to anything we were just talking about. So thank you for coming up here, Robert. You're welcome to join the show anytime, but I have no idea what you're talking about, so we're going to have to move on. Okay, guys, thank you guys for showing up here this evening. This is a Political Theater. I'm Walter Kerr. Thank you guys for showing up. If you guys want to join the show and you have anything to say, you're welcome to come up here and join the show. If you have comments, you can always put it down below. I do read all the comments throughout the show, so you guys are welcome to chime in if you want to. Let's keep moving in here. So, John, you have your hand up again. What's up, John?
Hey, thanks for putting on this show. I'm enjoying it. I was sorry. I was going to ask you, if you were made the president or king of America, what would your top 3 priorities be for we the people?
Top 3 priorities would be restore the American family, restore Christ in every single one of our schools, and completely remove all Marxism from every single form, and completely end all of the aspects of Marxism in our colleges.
Just the colleges?
Colleges is the most important. Colleges is
really?
What feeds the teachers.
You don't think
colleges is what feeds the teachers?
You don't think junior high and high school is important?
The teachers are all fed by colleges, buddy. You got to start at the top.
Well, I don't know about that, because these people in the 3rd grade through the 8th grade, I mean, they have transgender teachers. Their teachers.
Where do they get their teaching license
from? The teachers are indoctrinated. Oh, I understand your point there.
Where do they get their teacher's license from?
Yeah, all right. Well, if you believe it's top down, then you believe it's top down. But anyways, thanks for answering.
You're fine. Okay, Jenny, you got your hand up. Go ahead. Or maybe your hand's not up.
It's not. Yeah.
But listen, the space is broken. So if somebody else has something to chime in on, go ahead. We've got about 15 minutes or so left in the show. So.
Walter, is X trying to get people to leave this platform? What's going on with this platform?
I have no idea, dude. My engagement has just dropped to essentially nothing. I will say, if you guys go check out, there's the new, it has a following popular feed, which is actually kind of cool. I actually like that a lot. It's actually a lot better. To me, it's even better than the For You feed. But the problem, again, on X is that no one ever leaves the For You feed. So until they fix the problems with people manipulating the For You feed, I have no idea. I mean, to me, this show, for those who have listened to the show for a long time, this show started on X, started in just Spaces. That was where it was originally. And the show had, for a little while, it was growing and growing and growing. We had about 6,000 or 7,000 live listeners a night. And then it was up to 5,000 or 6,000 live listener playbacks on that. And then suddenly, in about August, it dropped to nothing. And all of my analytics completely disappeared. None of them actually worked. And nothing ever came back. It was never fixed. So, that's why the show became a live video show. That's why I moved over to all the other platforms, which I really appreciate those who do follow this show on the other platforms. There's a link up there on the top if you guys want to do that. You can follow on Substack, or you can follow on Spotify or Apple. There's recordings of this. The video version is on Spotify. The reason I moved to those other platforms is because the analytics on X are just gone. So I don't know, man. I love this platform. I have a huge platform on here now. It's been amazing over the past year. I shot up from 0 followers to 100,000 followers in less than a year. So I like this platform a lot, but they still need to fix some of the issues with it. I mean, to me, I don't understand how I can put a post out and get less than 1,000 views on anything when I have 100,000 followers. That's retarded. I mean, what is the purpose of having followers if no one sees anything you say? I mean, in articles and stuff like that I write, when I write them on Town Hall and stuff like that, other places that people read them, I see the engagement that they get on those places, and they're through the roof. I mean, some of my articles, 10, 20,000 views and reads, and then on X it's got like 7. You're like, what the hell? Like, it's not the content that's the problem, is what my point is. It's obvious.
Have you asked Grok if there's a special warning on your account?
No, listen, Grok doesn't know those things, dude. Grok lies, okay? Grok just comes up with whatever ridiculous answer when you ask it stuff like that. It doesn't have access to your account information. It's not something it can do.
Well, I just know on my accounts, all my accounts have been labeled as special warning, and it tells you your account has been labeled, essentially it's viewing you as spam.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I have the engagement that I get on this platform. I've got like 300 million impressions over this year. I work really hard on this show. I really work hard on this platform. The problem I have with it is that it is so unbelievably inconsistent. That is the real problem I have with it. Like, one week I'll get a bazillion impressions, the next week I get none. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why can't I have some consistency at least? That would be amazing, but you just don't get any. Now, again, I think Elon is still doing a lot to this platform. The things are changing. Things are getting better. But at the same time, it seems like every time they change something, everything else breaks. So, Spaces, for example, I think Spaces are the future of talk radio. That's one of the reasons I like Spaces so much, because you can have speakers up, you can interact with them directly, you can ask them questions. It's like having a call-in version of the show, which is how I use it. I use it as a call-in for the show. So if you want to join the show, you can come on Spaces and you can ask questions and do all that. I think that's an amazing feature. One of the first times I ever saw a space operating, it was in the middle of the beginning of the Ukraine war. And there was 15 military analysts all on a show together talking. And they were all going back and forth, pulling information and discussing it. And it was live, raw information. And they were correcting each other and doing all this. I was like, that is the future of any information being disseminated I've ever seen. It was incredible. And instead, how do they treat Spaces? They treat Spaces kind of like, I don't know, it's like the stepchild that you forgot about upstairs. And they don't care about it at all. Like, this is such a fantastic idea. Such a cool concept, and it doesn't get any attention. I don't know why.
Well, it's pretty stupid that if you go to Spaces, you can't view other spaces unless you're following the people. I don't understand why Elon doesn't want, exploration on the platform, but there's a lot of things that I think they have technical, limitations to. But I don't know if you follow Adrian Dittman, but he is most definitely Elon Musk's burner account, and he regularly holds Spaces. And for a year, I was recording his Spaces and unrecorded Spaces on X. Nothing too interesting, but it's definitely Elon Musk, and it's just like an inside joke that it's Adrian
It's
Dittman.
not. Okay, so listen, Adrian Dittman is
It's not Elon Musk.
It's literally, you can go look. There's a space where Adrian is sitting there, and Elon actually joins his show, and they're talking back and forth to each other.
Yeah, I know. It's called having two cell phones, and it's called having one account on one phone and another account on another.
John, I like it that you find it so that is the biggest troll ever did. Okay, let me tell you.
It's not a troll. It's 100% Elon Musk. I've listened to him for years.
But listen, dude, Elon Musk runs 5 companies. He does not have time to sit on X Spaces and host a show 5 nights a week. No, he doesn't.
Oh, okay. He doesn't play video games all night long and eat buttered steak on X Spaces?
He does that once every few nights. John, okay, look, I'm not going to argue with you about something so stupid. Okay, it's not like Elon Musk. We know it isn't. Many of us know this.
I'll bet you $100 and give you 10-to-1 odds.
Dude, you can't prove it. Who cares? Okay.
I can prove it. I can prove it. I can.
You can't. Enough. All right.
Realtor, Elon Musk is requesting. Elon's requesting. Should I bring him up?
Yeah, you can bring Elon Musk up. I mean, this is ridiculous. We don't have any time to listen to it. I just don't have time to argue about something so stupid. But okay, guys, if you have anything else to discuss for this evening, this is the Political Theater. If you guys have any other comments or any other interesting information we'd like to discuss, you had something.
Well, there was this post out from Posobiec that it's kind of I usually say like a cultural thing, just because I know it's a very hot topic right now. Is Posobiec put out this tweet saying Vecna from Stranger Things is a pedophile, and I'm just like, what?
Dude, I don't watch Stranger Things. Like, it's like one of the last things I care about. But I did see that post, and then there's someone there was a community note on it, and a bunch of people said that's just patently untrue. I don't know what that was about, because I don't watch that show, because I think it's retarded. I watched the first episode and thought it was stupid and stopped watching it. So, I don't know. Call me crazy. I don't watch that kind of stuff.
You think Posobiec could have better things to do?
Who knows, guys? Who knows? I have no idea what Posobiec is up to. He blocked me 4 years ago. I have no idea. Whenever I started on this platform, he blocked me for something. What it was, who knows? So I don't see any of Posobiec's content. So I have no idea. Okay, guys. Well, if there's nothing else to discuss specifically for this evening, thank you guys for showing up this evening. This is the Political Theater. We will be back on Monday night for more of the theater. Thank you guys for showing up. Make sure you guys share the link out. Make sure you guys share the content we put up there on the top. If you want to support me and support this show, go to WCDispatch.com and you can subscribe to my newsletter. That's how you get it. It's only $5 a month. If you guys want to support me, you can also go to X. I've got X subscriptions available as well. That's another way you can support this show. But the best way you can probably do so is actually follow us on all of our other platforms. We are on Rumble, YouTube, everywhere else. So thank you guys for showing up this evening. We have got a lot more to cover next week. So thank you guys for being here, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.
The other point of difference is the greater number of citizens, an extent of territory which may be brought within the compass of Republican and of Democratic government. And it is this circumstance principally which renders factious combinations less to be dreaded in the former than in the latter. The smaller the society, the fewer probably will be the distinct parties and interests composing it. The fewer the distinct parties and interests, the more frequently will a majority be found of the same party. And the smaller the number of individuals composing a majority, and the smaller the compass within which they are placed, the more easily will they concert and execute their plans of oppression. Extend the sphere and you take in a greater variety of parties and interests. You make it less probable that a majority of the whole will have a common motive to invade the rights of other citizens. Or if such a common motive exists, it will be more difficult for all who feel it to discover their own strength and to act in unison with each other besides other impediments. It may be remarked that where there is a consciousness of unjust or dishonorable purposes, communication is always checked by distrust in proportion to the number whose concurrence is necessary. Hence, it clearly appears that the same advantage which a republic has over a democracy in controlling the effects of faction is enjoyed by a large over a small republic, is enjoyed by the union over the states composing it. Does the advantage consist in the substitution of representatives whose enlightened views and virtuous sentiments render them superior to local prejudices and schemes of injustice? It will not be denied that the representation of the Union will be most likely to possess these requisite endowments. Does it consist in the greater security afforded by a greater variety of parties against the event of any one party being able to outnumber and oppress the rest? In an equal degree, does the increased variety of parties comprised within the Union increase the security? Does it, in fine, consist in the greater obstacles opposed to the concert and accomplishment of the secret wishes of an unjust and interested majority? Here, again, the extent of the Union gives it the most palpable advantage. The other point of difference is the greater number of citizens, an extent of territory which may be brought within the compass of Republican than of Democratic government, and it is this circumstance principally which renders factious combinations less to be dreaded in the former than in the latter. The smaller the society, the fewer probably will be the distinct parties and interest composing it. The fewer the distinct parties and interest, the more frequently will a majority be found of the same party. And the smaller the number of individuals composing a majority, and the smaller the compass within which they are placed, the more easily will they concert and execute their plans of oppression. Extend the sphere, and you take in a greater variety of parties and interests. You make it less probable that a majority of the whole will have a common motive to invade the rights of other citizens. For if such a common motive Hence, it clearly appears that the same advantage which a republic has over our democracy in controlling the effects of faction is enjoyed by a large over a small republic, is enjoyed by the Union over the states composing it. Does the advantage consist in the substitution of representatives whose enlightened views and virtuous sentiments render them superior to local prejudices and schemes of injustice? It will not be denied that the representation of the Union will be most likely to possess these requisite endowments. Does it consist in the greater security afforded by a greater variety of parties against the event of any one party being able to outnumber and oppress the rest in an equal degree? Does the increased variety of parties comprised within the Union increase this security? Does it, in fine, consist in the greater obstacles opposed to the concert and accomplishment of the secret wishes of an unjust and interested majority? Here, again, the extent of the Union gives the most palpable advantage. A republic, by which I mean a government in which the scheme of representation takes place, opens a different prospect and promises the cure for which we are seeking. Let us examine the points in which it varies from pure democracy, and we shall comprehend both the nature of the cure and the efficacy which it must derive from the Union. The two great points of difference between a democracy and a republic are, first, the delegation of the government in the latter to a small number of citizens elected by the rest. Secondly, the greater number of citizens and greater sphere of country over which the latter may be extended. The effect of the first difference is, on the one hand, to refine and enlarge the public views by passing them through the medium of a chosen body of citizens whose wisdom may best discern the true interest of their country, and whose patriotism and love of justice will be least likely to sacrifice into temporary or partial considerations under such a regulation. It may well happen that the public voice, pronounced by the representatives of the people, will be more consonant to the public good than if pronounced by the people themselves convened for the purpose. On the other hand, the effect may be inverted. Men of factious tempers, of local prejudices, or of sinister designs, may by intrigue, by corruption, or by other means first obtain the suffrages and then betray the interest of the people. The question resulting is whether small or extensive republics are more favorable to the election of proper guardians of the public weal, and it is clearly decided in favor of the latter by two obvious considerations. To be remarked that, however small the republic may be, the representatives must be raised to a certain number in order to guard against the cables of a few, and that, however large it may be, they must be limited to a certain number in order to guard against the proportionally greater in the small republic. It follows that if the proportion of fit characters be not less in the large than in the small republic, the former will present a greater option and consequently a greater probability of a fit choice. A republic, by which I mean a government, in which the scheme of representation takes place, opens a different prospect and promises the cure for which we are seeking. Let us examine the points in which it varies from pure democracy, and we shall comprehend both the nature of the cure and the efficacy which it must derive from the union. The two great points of difference between a democracy and a republic are, first, the delegation of the government in the latter to a small number of citizens elected by the rest. Secondly, the greater number of citizens and greater sphere of country over which the latter may be extended. The effect of the first difference is, on the one hand,
plunged into the you dead ass look. I looked around the room trying to find an imaginary camera so I can portray my best Jim from The Office face. I thought to myself, why? Why would someone not want to get married? Who would say no to together forever with their soulmate? Who would say...
It's not a form. It's not an article.
Oh, it's a booklet. I didn't know if it was. I know I read some of it, but I didn't know if it was a booklet.
They slow. I did it already. Or, you know.
I'm saying two different sets of aliens. And I feel like the ones that are below us and the ones that are above us, you know, the Anunnakis, and then I don't know, bro. I don't even like saying the other ones, bro. I don't like to call them reptile people. I don't know what the fuck they are, bro. Like the ones that just say live among us and below us, bro. But I think they cut deals with both of them, though. I'm not gonna lie.
You ever watched the Netflix TV show Inside?
the other point of difference is the greater number of citizens, an extent of territory which may be brought within the compass of Republican and of Democrat.
We have heard much of the fleets of Britain, and the time may come, if we are wise, when the fleets of America may engage attention. But if one national government had not so regulated the navigation of Britain
next to the mic
as to make it a nursery for seamen,
Yeah,
if one national government had not called forth all the national means and materials for forming fleets, their prowess and their thunder would never have been celebrated. Let England have its navigation and fleet. Let Scotland have its navigation and fleet. Let Wales have its navigation and fleet. Let Ireland have its navigation and fleet. Let those four of the constituent parts of the British Empire be under four independent governments. And it is easy to perceive how soon they would each dwindle into comparative insignificance. apply these facts to our own case. Leave America divided into 13, or, if you please, into 3 or 4 independent governments. What armies could they raise and pay? What fleets could they ever hope to have? If one was attacked, would the others fly to its succor and spend their blood and money in its defense? Would there be no danger of their being flattered into neutrality by its specious promises, or seduced by a too great fondness for peace to decline, hazarding their tranquility and present safety? For the sake of neighbors, of whom perhaps they have been jealous and whose importance they are content to see diminished. Although such conduct would not be wise, it would nevertheless be natural. The history of the states of Greece and of other countries abounds with such instances, and it is not improbable that what has so often happened would, under similar circumstances, happen again. But admit that they might be willing to help the invaded state or confederacy. How? And when? And in what proportion shall aids of men and money be afforded? Who shall command the allied armies, and from which of them shall he receive his orders? Who shall settle the terms of peace? And in case of disputes, what umpire shall decide between them and compel acquiescence? Various difficulties and inconveniences would be inseparable from such a situation, whereas one government watching over the general and common interests and combining and directing the powers and resources of the whole would be free from all these embarrassments and conduce far more to the safety of the people. In the trade to China and India, we interfere with more than one nation, inasmuch as it enables us to partake in advantages which they had in a manner